Forced to think outside the confines and restrictions of what is normal. We are the creators, the writers, the artists, and the insane. Welcome to our weird realities.
Good evening, Weirdlings. I'm dark fantasy author Hadley Thorne, and I'm here tonight with those amazing bad boys of horror. And I can guarantee at least one of them is fresh out of Facebook jail, or he might still be in it. I've got with me Scott Baker and Alan Gamboa.
Hello.
We are missing Rich Restucci, who I think actually might be in Facebook jail, and we're waiting for a breakout. But before we get started, be sure to
It's been a while since I've been in Facebook jail, so my time is due.
Well, before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a review, and if you're watching live, be sure to introduce yourself to us. We're an interactive show, and we look forward to your comments. Now, if you are looking for a film you can sink your teeth into, sit back and enjoy, go grab your popcorn and Coke now, and get ready to hear our vampire movie reviews. Now, I'm going to pass it off to Alan, who can tell everyone about what we're reviewing on this episode.
Well, thank you for passing it off to me. Tonight, we've got some really exciting vampire movies. No sparkly ones. If you're looking for that, I'm sorry. We don't have the sparkly vampires. Jassy, hello. Good to see you tonight.
Hey,
Tony,
Jassy.
good to see you tonight.
Hey, Tony.
Tonight, we have Priest, 30 Days of Night, and I was going to do Near Dark, but I couldn't find it anywhere to do that, so I had to do Priest. Help me out here. I forgot the other two.
Daybreakers and Stakeland.
Daybreakers and Stakeland. And these are all different takes on the vampires. The one thing they do all have in common is they do have feral vampires in all these movies. So they're very, some of them are very stylized. Some are indie movies. It's just a mixed bag of fang, gore, and steaks and garlic and whatever, blood, of course, blood everywhere. So let's dive into this tonight. Hopefully Rich will show up. I don't know where he is tonight. Maybe something got him. I don't know.
The vampire hunters tracked him down.
They found out his alter ego. How about let's start out. Let's start with you, Scott. Let's start with you.
All right. I picked 30 Days of Night. I love this movie. This is fantastic. It's based off of the Stephen Niles comic book, graphic novel. I'm sorry. If you haven't read it, read it. One of the reasons I love this movie is because it came out around the time when the only vampires were like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You know,
hey, Landa.
Hello, Landa. You know, where the vampires were bad, but they had a good side, or the Twilight series or True Blood. 30 Days of Night is a pure, feral vampire. Oh, there's Rich. We'll wait for him to come on.
I'm here. I got a few technical difficulties. Give me a minute. Okay. I'll come right back.
Is it daylight? Is that why?
Yes.
Anyways, 30 Days of Night takes place in this small Alaskan village up near the circle. As the title implies, this is the city where for 30 days the sun shines, and for 30 days only. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, guys.
And for 30 days, only the night reigns. And it deals with the characters in the city are, hang on here, let me get their names right. I always screw this up. Josh Hartnett plays the sheriff, Eben Olesen, and his ex-wife, Melissa George, plays Stella Olesen. And she's trying to get out of town because she doesn't want to be stuck there. Because once the plane leaves at the beginning of the 30 Days of Night, it doesn't come back. They're isolated. Meanwhile, this strange guy played by Ben Foster, they only know him as the Stranger, shows up. And these weird things start happening, like everybody's cell phones disappear. and they find them on top of a hill burned, and the phone lines go down, and they find this strange old vessel sitting off the coast. And the minute the sun goes down, you find out why. It's pretty much there's a giant nest of vampires that have decided that they want a 30-day feeding frenzy. And the minute the sun goes down, they attack the town and literally tear into it. It's a great movie. It's bloody. It's tense, on the edge of your seat. I love the vampires. One of my favorite vampires of all time is Danny Houston, the lead vampire as Marlowe. I love the scene. They take this young girl and they force her to walk through town, calling out for help, hoping to bring out the few humans that are left, and they won't fall for it. So when she gets to the end of the town, the vampires surround her and she drops to her knees and she's praying, to be saved. And she goes, "Please, God." And Danny Houston Marlowe sits in front of her and goes, "God? No, God." And then the vampires tear her apart. It was great because they were just pure evil. I had not seen that in a long time. And the action in it is great. The characters in it, they don't spend a lot of time building it up. You get maybe 10 or 15 minutes where they start to get, you got to put the characters together, and then boom, the entire movie is just wall-to-wall action. So.
Hey, Tina. Hey, Mona.
She set up my studio for me tonight.
Well, so hello, everybody.
Mona has a good point that
while I was yakking. So, anyways, that's the movie. There was a sequel made to it. I think I can't remember, Dark Knight or something, which was okay. And then there were 2 prequels made, which they're so bad I never even heard of. But this is a movie. If you like your vampires evil, if you like them hunting people down, if you like them tearing apart teenage girls rather than dating them, if the only thing you want to see glisten on a vampire is someone's blood, this is the movie for you.
Well said. I love this film. This is one of my favorite vampire films. And Danny Houston, Scott's absolutely right. He's one of the best vampires ever. These ones, they're all dark. They have like the super light skin, but they're all like really dark characters. Hi, Larkin. And their eyes are all black and
hey, Larkin.
It's like a plague.
Hi, Hope. Hi, Stevie. And also, excuse me. Hi, Ma.
Hey, Whitney.
Scott, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Whitney. Hi, everyone.
There we go.
Hi, everyone.
Continue, good sir.
I would say that the vampires in this movie have a very shark-like aesthetic.
The teeth. Yeah.
The teeth and the way the skin looks.
Yeah. Teeth
and the dark black, but they had the predator eyes like a shark.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. This is one of my favorites. And I caught something I'd never caught before when I watched it this time, which is the first opening scene. It is on Ben Foster's face.
Yeah.
And he has this haunted look. And then at the very end of the movie, you have a still look of Stella. And she has this very lost look.
Really?
And it was brilliant. Whoever did it was just great.
I thought it was more of a, like, she's going to get revenge look,
Hey there, buddy.
I thought it was more of, she was, I'm going to get some vampire ass, But that was my take on that.
And another thing I liked about it, sorry for interrupting and jumping in, was the little girl vampire.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only other time they'd done a little kid was in Interview with a Vampire. But I mean, this girl was just so vicious, and you still had to take her down. And none of them wanted to kill a kid, even though she was one of the undead.
Oh yeah, I like their language too. That was pretty neat.
That was made. That language was produced by a linguist at the University of Auckland.
Oh wow.
Yes, I'm a font of useless knowledge.
Well, that explains why all the natives were played by like Maoris. Because I was wondering, because it's like, wait, that's not a native of where they're at. They're all Maoris. So that explains it. In the Stella characters, Australian. So there's a lot of Australians. So that explains a lot.
Mhm.
So I didn't know it was an Australian production. Makes sense.
But was it Australian or New Zealand?
I don't think it was Australian production. Let me check.
New Zealand, because there's a lot of, because you can't get them mixed up because they don't appreciate that.
I think it's New Zealand.
But I like the feralness of them too when they were feeding and
they were just brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, and this at the time, at least for me, I had not seen this sort of pack of roving vampires.
Right.
Usually you just see one, and you might hear like two or three, like the brides or something, but you just never really saw like a roving gang go through the streets.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. It was something new, and it was fresh at the time. I think, like you said, it was a time of Buffy and the Sparkle, and this was not that.
It was based on Stephen Niles' graphic novels too.
Right.
They came from that.
And which was funny because when Niles first proposed the graphic novel and a possible movie, everyone turned him down. They didn't think the public was ready for this type of vampire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Boy, were they wrong.
They didn't know us.
No kidding. It was a great movie, and part of the selling point of this movie is just the bleakness of where they are. There's just nowhere to go, and they're stuck, in perpetual darkness for a month. How are you going to escape? No vehicles. You can't walk.
I did have a question for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Which was, what did you think about, they hit that like a church group on a buffet when they got to town. They just ate as many people as possible. And I was thinking they're just like they're gorging themselves.
Yeah.
And there's just not going to be that many people left. So
yeah, that part.
I was the only one who noticed that.
That part was kind of, yeah. I kept thinking, well, they're going to eat everybody. Of course, there was a handful of people left, at the end.
Yeah.
But
I thought part of it was the gorging, part of it was the hunt.
Yeah.
Because
they were sadistic.
Yeah, because I love the way when they had the girl walking through the street, you could see the vampires jumping from roof to roof, waiting for somebody to come out.
Or when Danny Houston puts that poker through the guy and sticks him against the wall. That was just being a sadist,
Yeah. But then even Danny Houston, all right, what I loved about him was he didn't care even about his own, because remember when Josh Hartnett was in the house and he had the UV light?
Yep.
And Marlowe thought something was wrong, so he sends his girlfriend in and lets her get burnt alive.
Yeah.
Anything that can be broken should be broken.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that the Marlowe character was actually like in the original script or in the comics, that he was supposed to be going to stop them, like the roving gang of vampires, to stop them because he was afraid they were going to out themselves after all these, hundreds of years of them, letting people think that they were just a
myth.
I guess campfire story, Yeah.
Well, they did burst that oil, break that oil line and try to burn the barrow down so there would be no evidence. He gave that little speech. So maybe they put some of that in there,
Yeah.
I don't remember. I read the graphic novel series after I watched the movie, but that was 15 years ago. I don't remember what the Marlowe character was like in the books.
I will say I watched part 2, and I would just tell anyone not to watch it.
It's not great.
Yeah.
No,
you can't remake perfection, and it's a perfect movie. I mean, we had 2 perfect vampire movies, in my opinion, this week.
Oh,
okay.
Well, thank you.
Curious what the second one is.
So, what would you Hadley, what would you rate this movie?
I'm a 5. I love this movie. There's nothing about it I dislike. I think it is probably my favorite Josh Hartnett movie. You know, he kind of disappeared there for a while, or he's still kind of gone. But this movie, he did a great job. He didn't overact. He didn't underact. He played it pretty perfect. The vampires were spot on. It was an original story. I love it. I love it all. I love the sharpness of them, and I love freaking Ben Foster in this movie. Oh my God, he's the creepiest dude down to his black teeth.
Yeah.
And he was again when they wouldn't take him with them, you know, and then they just murdered him, and the kind of Renfieldness of him was just brilliant. I loved it. So 5. I'm a 5 for 30 Days of Night.
Scott?
4.9.
4.9. Rich?
And it's a great movie. It just broke out. It reminded me of the old evil vampire movies of Universal, Hammer Horror.
I'm going to give it a 4.5. I really enjoy this movie too. It's one of my favorite vampire movies. And I think the reason that Josh Hartnett disappeared was because he did Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh God, that's right. He was in that.
Yeah, he was
Or
in that
Hollywood
movie.
Homicide, one of those.
Oh yeah, Pearl Harbor could have been such a great movie too, and with all the money they spent on it.
Oh yeah.
I watched it with my best friend. We're both World War II nuts, and we were throwing things at the TV screen. But when Alec Baldwin came out as Jimmy Doolittle and the fighter pilots were going to fly the B-25s, I thought he was going to take a gun and blow the TV away. That is the worst war movie I have ever seen. Even Kate Beckinsale couldn't save that one.
It's because she didn't have a corset on.
even if she was wearing a bikini and high heels, I would never watch it again.
I'll give this one a 4.5. Danny Houston always plays a good villain.
Yeah.
If you watch Yellowstone, he's a villain in a couple seasons, and he does a really good job in it.
He was
4.5.
also in one of the American Horror Story in New Orleans. He was
really?
The Axeman of New Orleans.
He can play a really good bad guy.
Yeah.
And he is Angelica Houston's brother.
Really?
Walter Houston, the old director, is I believe his grandfather.
I never would have known.
Yep.
She
And
seems much taller than him.
And there's another Houston out there, Danny Houston, I can't think of his. There's another Houston out there, his nephew or something. Anyway,
it was American Horror Story Coven.
Okay.
Thank you, Mona.
Okay. Pearl Harbor stunk. Yeah, Tony, it did. And I saw it in the theater too. It did. It really stunk. So we've got some big Hollywood movies. Let's go with the small indie movie, Stakeland. Let's try that. So, Hadley?
Love this movie. This movie, I could write a love letter to it. I love this movie so much. To me, it is a perfect indie horror film. From the music, the tone, everything about this just stings to my soul. It starts off with our character. I call him the boy, but I think his name's Martin. And Martin is with his parents, and they're in the middle of a vampire apocalypse. And they're trying to, escape, I think, to New Eden. And it's his mom, his newborn sibling, and his dad. They're having some car trouble. They're trying to fix the car. And the dog, of course, runs off.
Cooper.
Golden Retriever. He runs out into the storm. And Martin runs out after him. And while he's gone, a vampire attacks his family. And he's about to get, ate. And Mr. arrives. And Mr. is just this mysterious vampire hunter who appears out of nowhere, and it's his dad's dying wish for him to take Martin with him and kind of, make sure that he lives. And that sets the tone for this. And it's a story about Martin's growing awareness of the darkness around him and the life that he's living now as Mr. trains him to become a vampire hunter. And like I said, I could write a love letter to this movie. It is beautiful to me. It is it is a very melancholy. I didn't like it the first time I saw it, and I'll go ahead and say that I didn't get it, but every time, and I've watched it probably 4 or 5 times now, and that was one reason I told y'all I was going to go with it because I'd been wanting to watch it again. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. So sorry.
Vampire alert.
So let me bury that. I
Your
had turned the
lasagna's
sound
ready.
off, but it's one of those blue alerts. Yeah. So this is something I periodically revisit. It holds up over time, in my opinion, and it is just so well done. Like I said, you can't really tell what time period it happens in.
Right.
The cars are kind of old, but the scenery is kind of new. Um, it's like I said, it actually had, I did not recognize Kelly McGillis or Gillis,
Yeah.
Right.
Top Gun lady.
Yeah.
She's the nun in it. They find this nun. The people have gone stupid. You have these people who think that the vampires are like been sent from God and it's cleansing the earth, and so you have this crazy cult that's apocalyptic cult that's come out, and then you have the New Eden, which is where they're going, and it's just, to me, it just is a really great movie. So enough about me gushing about it. What did y'all think about it?
I thought it was good. I had seen it a few years ago, and I was like, it was all right. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's a movie that I didn't think I'd watch again. And then I saw there's actually a second one called Stakelander, and I saw that, and I was like, it was pretty good too. Kind of the same thing. And then you suggested the movie, and I was like, all right, I'll go back to it. And I honestly really liked it. It was, you could definitely tell it was an indie film, and it was really well acted. And again, you got this was a vampire apocalyptic movie. Everybody's dead, and there's like spots of humanity out there, and there's definitely bad guys. You got your what was it, the Brotherhood, and
Yeah.
they're these evil, Bible thumping just assholes that just want to kill everybody that doesn't think the way they think. And they get in a fight and back and forth. Then they start hunting Mister and Martin. It was pretty good. It was well done. What I didn't like was the actual vampires themselves. I thought the makeup on the vampires was just terrible. They looked like zombies with long teeth. But
yeah,
I
will say that you could definitely see the budget was lacking, and I did watch Stakelander after it, and I have wanted to go back and rewatch Stakeland, because in Stakeland they don't show the vampires that much.
No, they don't. You just see
in
like shadows, and
they
they're
do.
running and.
Yeah, and I think that's where it kind of blurred, was the two. But they made a point not to really show them, because I think that they did have bad makeup.
Yeah, they didn't have any money. One of the creepiest scenes was when Martin gets back to the car by himself, which pissed me off a little, because he couldn't get in the car, and it's a goddamn convertible. He couldn't figure that out to get the weapons. Jeez, what shall I do? And he looks down the road, and he sees just this sort of white figure sort of hunched over. And then she leaps up and starts screaming and running out. That was pretty good. I actually liked that. That was creepy.
That was a good scene. And then what happens after was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't expect much from this, and I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed it. It was, the acting varied, but didn't vary too. It wasn't that bad to where you're like, oh, it was a good movie. Like Hadley said, it's the people that made this movie love vampire movies, obviously, the way it was put together. And the guy that played Mr. reminded me of William Smith in his heyday, but not as big as character actor William Smith. It's a good movie. It's fun. You can obviously see it when you're watching the budget, the locations and stuff. You're like, okay, they got this old ran down barn. They're just going to use it, say it, it's apocalyptic. It's enjoyable though. I recommend it. I watched Zoolander 2 or Stakelander 2, and it was good.
I was wondering what the connection was.
It was good. I enjoyed that. I would, and like you said, I didn't recognize Kelly McGillis for a while. I'm like, who is that? Who is that? Oh, she was doing this instead of Top Gun too. And then also they had Danielle Harris played the pregnant girl. She's a scream queen. She's in a ton of horror movies. I know. I'm sure Tony knows exactly who that is. So it was enjoyable, and I'm glad you brought it up, Hadley. It was a good flick. So thank you.
Well, I can't believe that y'all have not mentioned the baby scene because that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that was pretty gruesome, but it was fast. So
yeah, it was just enough for a low budget movie. And I'm telling y'all, low budget with this, it works. And this movie I think won some awards. I can't think of what they are right now, but
where he's eating the baby and he drops it.
Yeah.
And it
so Scott, down. What did you think? Was it?
One of the things I loved about this week's pick was 3 of the movies were post vampire apocalypse movies.
Yeah.
And they're like the only 3 out there like this, which is fantastic. Okay, on how that happened.
Wow.
I liked it. It was very well done for a low budget movie. It was very bleak, very dark. The acting was realistic. It was good. It was realistic. You felt like these people weren't overacting. They were living through it. My only problem was near the end, I started to lose track of it because it's like the plot was taking a lot of different turns. And I had to like go back for like a minute and figure out what was going on. But that probably was me. I was watching it at 2 a.m. It's a good movie. I have downloaded Stakeland 2. I want to watch that one. But I think it's a good movie. I would probably wind up giving it a 3.7.
Nice.
Well, I will say this. Stakelander 2 is not worth watching to me.
Ah.
I watched it because it was the part 2, but I mean it took away from the magic of the first one.
It's a different type of movie too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. So what would you give this one, Hadley?
It's a 5 for me. I love it. Like I said, I could write a love letter to it. From the melancholiness of it, the absolute bleakness, again, it was on a budget, but it just was an incredibly melancholy piece. It was just, I mean, that's what the apocalypse is going to be like, It's not going to, it's going to be tough. And I think this showed it. From the scene with Kelly McGillis and the Brotherhood to, a lot of stuff that they make a point of saying, the worst thing between here and New Eden are the cannibals. Food scares.
Right.
You don't have, and it touches on all the things that make a good, apocalyptic book. And I loved being able to see it in a movie because it's just not often done and done well. So sorry, I could sing a song of love for this movie.
You are.
It's a surprise. The movie is a surprise. What do you think, Rich?
I think it was a sleeper. I think it did. Like I said, the first time I saw it, it was all right. But then I went back in, I dove in. I actually watched it again today, and I really liked it. I enjoyed it. So I'm going to give this. I'll probably give it a 3.8. How does that? It's not good enough to get a 4, only because of the ending. I wanted to punch everybody in the face at the ending. It just stopped. But I think it was because they were setting up for the second film. So I'll give it a 3.8.
I'll give it a 3.5. I enjoyed it. It's a good movie. I'd watch it again. I think their ideas were bigger than their budget, but I think they did fine. The same 2 guys, Nick D'Amici, who played Mr., and I can't think of the guy that wrote it. They made a zombie movie called Mulberry Street, where people turn into like
rat
zombies.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
And,
And that one's got the same aesthetic as Stakeland. I think I liked it, but it's just a downer of a movie. Totally.
Yeah, it is not a feel-good flick.
No.
Well, I think that's why, like, the first time I saw it, I didn't really care for it, but I've seen it, it's one of those that it comes up periodically, and I watch it every time I see it. Good Lord, what's going on tonight? Are these those
Obviously,
TikTok people?
obviously, we have friends. We have somebody, a friend, trying to save us
Those are
money.
not my ads. I have a different Tinder account.
I'm trying to block user, but it's not letting me.
Oh, that's insane.
I don't know what's going on.
Oh,
In the comments section, we keep on getting naked HD XYZ Tinder overpriced.
Tinder overpriced.
I haven't seen it.
Sorry, guys. We've got a full house tonight, and oh my gosh, we've got porn.
Tony said he
so,
loves Mulberry Street. Well,
Yeah.
good. It's for what it is. I think it's a good movie. You
Are
know?
these Alan's ads? Yes, Larkin, they are.
Oh, comments.
Alan.
That's why.
His
Larkin,
side job.
that was between
And
you
trust
and
me,
me.
I've seen them. They're worth the money.
My ads, is that with my shirt off?
They must be coming from Twitch. I think that's one that we have.
That's
not
crazy.
sure. Anyway,
Oh, let's move to
well, I
Rich's
hate that
movie.
y'all didn't love it as much as I do, but I will say,
Well,
watch it
I didn't
again.
hate it.
I think it does grow on you.
I certainly didn't hate it. I thought it, like I said, I thought it was
Yeah.
it was worth seeing.
It was a good
Well,
movie.
Wanda, you disappointed?
I will watch it again. You know,
I do want to go back and rewatch it sometime when I can concentrate more on the movie, not with what I was doing. I loved the first part of it. It was just the end of it. It started to lose me.
Yeah, well, I think they just didn't know what to do. You know,
yeah.
there's only so many times you can ride around the circle in your convertible.
Yeah, exactly. And not get eaten by vampires.
well, Rich, how about your movie?
Oh, my movie was Daybreakers. I usually write something up and read it right off to you, but this time I guess I was a little late. So Daybreakers it's a 2009 film, and it stars Ethan Hawke, Willem Dafoe, and Sam Neill. And it's vampires have taken over the world, but it's anything but an apocalypse. Everything's functioning. Vampires are intelligent. They run businesses and shops just like they used to. Hi, Lynn.
Island.
Hey, Lynn.
Before
Lynn.
they were turned. And
Thanks, Mona.
hi, Mona. One of the things that's the main focus of this film is that the humans, the vampires, are running out of human blood. So they're trying to come up with a blood substitute, and Ethan Hawke is a vampire hematologist, and he works at this large vampire conglomeration, this big building, and they have farmed out humans for blood, and you can see how they have big, huge stacks of humans that they're gotten all their blood from, but they're running out. And when a vampire runs out of blood or feeds on another vampire or feeds on themselves, they turn to this thing called, it was a subsider, I think.
Yeah,
and it looks more like your typical nasty faced bat winged type of creature, and they're just feral, and they just attack and kill anything that they can.
Yeah.
And so Ethan Hawke runs afoul. He gets in a car accident with some remaining humans, and they sort of connect a little. He connects with the woman who comes and sees him later at his house, at Ethan Hawke's house. And they talk back and forth, and she thinks that she can trust him because he told them to run during the accident. So long story short, they go out, they meet Willem Dafoe. And Willem Dafoe used to be a vampire. And through this just series of luck, it was basically a car accident that threw him through his windshield and through the sun, where he burst into flames and then went into like this culvert. And he came out of the culvert, through the water. He was human again. So Ethan Hawke's brother, I can't remember his name in the film, he's a human hunter. So he decides that he's going to help out Sam Neill, who is the runner of he's the owner of this vampire corporation. He goes, grabs Ethan Hawke, brings him back. Ethan Hawke escapes again. Willem Dafoe gets him out, and then Ethan Hawke meets up with is he a senator, a congressman, or something like that? And they devise this plan to try to recreate what happened to Willem Dafoe, and they do. And then they get caught by the brother and a bunch of sort of vampire. It's like a hit squad. They get brought back, but Ethan Hawke has now figured out that if a vampire bites someone who has been turned back into a human from a vampire, that the biter now turns into a human as well. They go into the building, chaos ensues, and basically what happens is Sam Neill bites Ethan Hawke, turns into a human, and then he gets thrown into an elevator, and all the other vampires come in and rip him to pieces. Then they all turn human. Then the other vampires attack him, so you can see what it's going to be, a cascading cure for vampirism across the nation. I liked it. I thought it was a really good film. I liked the way they did a vampire apocalypse with no apocalypse. I thought that was excellent. The acting was phenomenal. It had a pretty decent budget. Well, that's what I got. What did you think, Alan?
I liked it. It was unique. The take on it was unique. I wanted to go a little bit farther, but I really enjoyed it. And I love that scene where the soldiers are feasting on Ethan Hawke's brother, who's been turned back into a human, and they turn back into humans. They're like, huh? They look around, they're all blood dripping down. They're all gorged. They look around, and there's 24 other soldiers that are still vampires that see that they're humans, and they jump on them, and it's just like you said, just cascade, just keeps going and going and going. And the acting was great. Ethan Hawke, Sam Neill, of course Defoe. He's a bit of a vampire himself, and I really enjoyed this. This is a good pick. Thank you. I had seen it a long time ago, and I really didn't remember it because I probably wasn't paying attention to it. And I really enjoyed this one. Scott?
It's great. I loved it. It just turned the whole genre on its head. I love the idea that rather than the world full of humans hunting the few vampires, it's a world of vampires hunting down the few humans. I love the fact that they were almost hunted themselves out of existence.
Right.
That they were facing this food shortage. And they were trying to find a way around it. And the whole concept of the way you could switch from vampire back to human, and then it was almost like a reverse zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Except rather than turning into the vampires, everybody's turning into the humans. Plus, Sam Neill plays an awesome bad guy. I love him. Every movie he's ever been in, I love. And William Dafoe, what can you say? He's fantastic. But I liked it. I really enjoyed it. I've seen it before, so, I don't mind watching it again, but it is one of the more unique vampire films out there.
I agree. Hadley? What do you think, Hadley?
Did we lose Hadley?
No, Hadley's got it on mute.
No, I'm sorry. I was on mute. I was just talking. Sorry. I was going to say it's a little bit science fiction-y for me, so I can see why y'all like it, but it wasn't really for me. I had seen this before. I couldn't find it. I've watched clips of it all day to try and catch up, and I remember seeing it and just being disappointed. Again, I'm not as much into the science fiction part of things like Mr. Scientist Rich Restucci is, I'm sure, but it's a good movie. It's original, and that's one of the big things that I always give points for.
Yeah.
I will say that I did find out that there was a kind of a prequel.
Really?
Can
I did
y'all
not
hear
know
me?
that. Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, what's the prequel?
Hello?
We're here.
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, the guys that wrote it, the brothers, I can't think of their name.
Spirig or something like that, wasn't it? Or something?
There was a movie called Undead, 2003, that was kind of a take when they were trying out the concept of the what eventually became Daybreakers, and I did start watching it.
What was the film called?
It is a New Zealand or Australian film, and I think it might maybe Australian.
Is that
Was
the
it
one with the guy with the
Undead?
shotgun, the multi-barrel shotgun?
And it was them playing around with it. It's kind of a silly.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that
Yeah,
movie.
there was a shotgun. It was kind of funny. Like they were trying to be funny. And it was, vampires from outer space or these comets fell. It lost me. So I can't say that I watched it, but I would suggest if you enjoyed it, maybe y'all should watch it. But it was kind of more like Shaun of the Dead, kind of that in that vein of humor.
It was kind of like Wormwood. It reminded me of Wormwood.
Yeah, it had that dirty, gritty feel.
And it was the name of it was Undead.
Yeah.
Yes.
The picture
Undead
of it,
came out in 2003.
Okay.
it's the front cover's yellow and it's got someone in a like a biohazard suit. That's what I remember from the
Oh,
DVD
okay. It's
cover.
not the one I was thinking of then.
Yeah. So what would you give this, Hadley?
I would give it probably a 3.5, mainly because of the acting and the It had some great William Dafoe. You just can't go wrong with him or Sam Neill. Ethan Hawke did pretty well. I was surprised Ethan Hawke did this movie, to be honest, and it just seemed like not his genre, But
But have you seen him lately? He plays in everything.
Yeah,
well,
he
yeah,
does.
but this was before that. This is when he was still married to Uma and
Ah,
was doing his whole hipster thing. Um, but yeah, so like I said, it was original. I did like that, and I want to say there's another movie that kind of is similar to it that has the guy who played Duncan MacLeod in it.
Hmm.
But because I thought that maybe that was this movie, but it wasn't. Anyway, but yeah.
Teen is starting a revolution.
What's
is it a real vampire movie without sparkling vampires?
Yeah, we
that's
didn't
your
have.
wife, Alan Gamboa?
Yes,
We
it
had
is.
no sparkling vampires.
Yes, it
No.
is, baby. Definitely. So, what do you think, Scott? What do you give this one?
I'd give it a 4, a solid 4. There were, there
It
were
is,
some
Tony.
slow parts in that, but all in all, I thought it was a very unique take on the vampire genre.
Rich?
I'm going to give it a 4.5. I like the way it was made. I like the fact that it was sort of medium to large budget. The actors were great. Vince Neil was just a son of a bitch. The way he grabbed his daughter and turned her into a vampire after searching for her for a long time, and she didn't want to be one. And he knew there was no more, blood.
Right.
I really liked it. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Cool. I'll give it a 4. I liked it. I thought it was unique, and it was filmed very slick. And a lot of blood, tons of gore. If you like gore, splat buckets of blood, this one's got it. Definitely.
There was actually some scenes that the aesthetic made me think of. Was it Metropolis?
Oh, yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. And the people were dressed in like 40s, 50s style clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had a feel to it. Like I said, it had potential. I would like to see it maybe redone.
It's a very
See what they
stylish
can
movie.
do with it now.
Like I said, I'll give it a 4. I'd watch it again, but not right now. Okay, I'm gonna go with Priest. 2011's Priest. This one was based on a graphic novel, and man and vampires have been fighting forever, and both sides taking huge losses. And the humans finally come up with the warrior priest, which are these soldiers for the Catholic Church that just are trained so well that they can defeat the vampires, and they eventually end up putting the vampires on reservations, which I don't understand that part. I really don't, because you've got something that's going to kill you without remorse, and that's stronger than you. Why put them in a reservation, right? And I'm going to sound horrible. So I'm going to sound horrible saying this. They're not people. They're vampires. They're vampires.
In the woke
They're not
culture,
human
I can't
beings.
believe
They're
you're saying
vampires.
this.
So why didn't you have monsters? Why don't you just, make sure they're not going to eat you? Paul Bettany plays one of the priests, one of the most famous priests and one of the best fighters, I guess. They're out of a job now since they put them on these reservations. The priests are out of a job, and they have jobs shoveling coal into the big furnaces of these dystopian cities that are behind these huge walls, and the church is running everything. And if to go against God is to be sacrilegious and all this stuff. I mean, they just push it. The people just work, and it's like it looks like Metropolis. Anyway, out in the plains, because this is kind of a post-apocalyptic Western, basically. His brother is trying to farm, and he's attacked by vampires. His wife is killed. He's mortally wounded, and his daughter is taken. So, priest puts on his cloak, and he goes after these vampires. The lead vampire, played by Carl Urban,
Mm.
who used to be a priest and was pulled into a cave, and Paul Bettany was unable to save him. So he's amassed an army of these feral vampires, and they're going to take this train and attack, basically break into the city and start their reign again. And the girl, which ends up being priest Paul Bettany's daughter, is used as bait to draw him out. And there's a lot of good effects. It's really, I love their motorcycles rocket cycles that they have, basically. And the acting's good. Good actors. You have Christopher Plummer, Carl Urban, Paul Bettany, Maggie Q playing Maggie Q. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
What do you think, people? Anybody?
Scott.
All right.
Not frozen.
I went to see the movie. No, because if I was frozen, I'd be doing something weird like. I went to see the movie with low expectations. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, okay, you're going to make a post-apocalyptic vampire movie that's part Western, part dystopian, 90% action. This is going to fall on its face. I fell in love with this movie. It pulled it off. I couldn't believe how well it was done. Everything about it, the way they used the priest as the warriors, and then when the war was over, they threw them aside. Just
Sounds familiar.
Yes, I was just about to say something like that. And the difference between the prim, proper religious aspects of the city and just that Wild West atmosphere outside the city walls. The vampires were fantastic. I know they were CGI, but I thought they were great. And Keith Urban was just phenomenal in that movie. He was just such a low-key evil villain. He was perfect for the role. I watch this movie all the time now. It's very rare that I go into a movie with low expectations and come out loving the movie. Usually my expectations drop, but this one is a definite must-watch.
What do you think, Hadley?
I love this movie. It's not one of my favorites, mainly because I feel like it could have been more. But man, Carl Urban as the Black Hat dude, he's just so villainous. I love it. I think this is actually one of Morgana's favorite movies. She's probably talked about this before, but yeah, it's good. Paul Bettany as the main character, though, is kind of a stretch for me. He just doesn't seem like a badass. I always imagine him in a tennis outfit or speaking Shakespeare. But it was a good movie, and I love Maggie Q, and she's just awesome. Maggie Q playing Maggie Q in her leather outfit, doing her stuff. But again, the biggest problem I have with this movie, and this is where I would like to see it redone, is I hate the monsters. I hate the vampires.
Really?
I would like to see. To me, it's like the same with I Am Legend. Great movie, great apocalypse, and then you have these weird looking, CI monsters, and I just. You got a budget that big. We can make dragons. We can do better with the vampires, So that's my only complaint, but I love it. It's a good movie, Alan.
Good. Rich?
I have the same complaint Hadley does. That hive critter there, the look blind almost. I thought great idea, great, fantastic idea, but the actual it came off as a little flat for me. But the movie itself is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It was really well done. Paul Bettany can do anything. He can absolutely do anything. He's a fantastic actor. And is it Keith Urban or Kyle? Keith Urban, right? He's
Carl
Urban. Yeah, right.
Keith is the country singer who's married to Nicole
Carl
Kidman.
Urban, right? He's in the Homelander show, whatever.
The Boys.
Yeah.
Which came
I
out
know.
last
I
week.
just
and
heard
was
that today. I
amazing.
can't wait to see the next season.
Scott
yeah.
Baker needs to watch it. It's got the gore he loves.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
really?
like-
Okay.
Oh yeah, it really
Yes,
does.
very,
Isn't it
very
like
gory.
on season 3 now or something?
This is
Yeah.
the
You can
third
catch up.
season.
There's not that many.
Yeah, I think
All
there's
right.
only
And
8
trust me,
episodes per season.
yeah.
Okay.
It was easy.
But yeah, the monster in the hive actually made me think of the old Ghostbusters. What was the one that what's his name? Keith Rick
Slimer?
Moranis
Slimer?
turned into
Slimer? Or
Oh, the dog. Yeah,
Oh,
it did
okay.
look like a dog.
Yeah.
Zool.
again. Sorry.
Zool.
Zool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except
Like-
Zool was done better.
Yes.
Well, like when Sam the vampire, well, what's his name? When the brother is looking out the window and there's just these ton of vampires rolling across the
Yeah.
plains. I didn't care for that part. You know, it's like, how do you fight that? But I thought the
Yeah.
premise, the action, the acting, I thought it was a good movie. But I get what you
I
mean.
love the scene where
Yeah.
like Carl Urban is gonna fight the three priests, and he's at the end. You know, it's got that kind of Western
Yeah.
drawdown, old school Western
Yeah.
thing. I love that. But
Excuse me.
he was a good bad guy.
Yeah.
Hello.
It had worm tongue in it too.
Monsters to Mundane. Hi. It did.
Hello
It
from
did.
Monsters to Mundane. Welcome.
So what would you, Hadley, what would you give this movie?
She
Hadley?
is.
Yeah, Hadley?
You with us? She's chasing Boo.
Are we the only ones not frozen?
No, you're
No, we can't hear you.
we can't hear you.
I'm here.
All right.
What would you give it, Hadley?
Okay, everybody's frozen on my end. I would probably give this a 4.
Okay.
4.
Scott?
4.7. It's not a great movie.
Did y'all hear me? 4. 4.
Yeah,
Yes.
we
Yeah.
heard you. We heard you. It's not a great movie by any standard. I mean, it's not going to win any awards, but it is a fun movie, and that's why I give it that.
All right. Rich, what would you give it?
I'm gonna give it a solid 4. Hi, Laura.
well.
Just for the same reason Scott
Laura.
just said. It's a really fun movie. The acting in this movie, you didn't watch this movie for the acting.
Yeah.
It wasn't that type of movie. You watched it for the action, and hopefully they'd have some CGI vampires that didn't suck, or that did suck but didn't stink, I suppose. To me, I thought they could have done better. Speaking to what Hadley said, they could have done better with the CGI.
Right.
But still, I'm going to give it a solid 4, just for what it is.
I like the concept. I really do.
Mhm.
We lost Hadley. I'll give it a solid 4. Definitely.
Yeah.
Hadley bailed on us. I hope something didn't
Yeah.
get her.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
there she is. She is kind of back.
She's
Ah, there
back.
she is.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
We
Okay,
could hear you
maybe
before.
this will be better.
It was just us on your
Okay.
screen that was.
The
bad.
Y'all are
vampire hunters
stopping.
were
I'm
tracking her
having-
down.
Oh. Are you there, Hadley?
Uh-oh.
Oh. I really wanted to do
Talk to her.
friggin' Near Dark, but I couldn't find it streaming anywhere, and I hadn't seen it in so long.
Yeah.
Have
It's
you-
on
have
Plex.
you-
It's on Plex now, so you can watch it now. But
Oh.
I didn't get it on there until yesterday.
Oh.
So sorry.
I think it's got one of the best scenes where Bill Paxton, they all go in there and kill all those people in the bar. I think that's great. It's
I hate it when they ain't been shaved.
There's so many vampire movies that I could have done.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do it again next week, and I mean, I could come up with
Yeah.
3 or 4 to pick from for myself. I was surprised no one picked Blade. I was surprised that no one picked Underworld.
Mhm.
Dracula, Bram Stoker's Dracula. I think we talked about Dracula Dead and loving it.
Well,
Love
I'm
it
wearing
first
the
bite.
T-shirt of my second
Yeah.
favorite vampire hunter, Peter Vincent. Fright Night.
You know, I like the remake too. I really did. I thought Colin Farrell did a
Colin
good
Farrell.
job.
Yeah.
It was okay. I liked David Tennant. I love the scene at the fight scene at the end, but it saddened me that they had to change Peter Vincent from a horror talk show host to a magician because nobody knew what a horror talk show host was nowadays.
Right. That's kind of
Well, if they'd
sad.
said horror podcaster, we know who they could have cast.
Right.
But that's a fun movie though. The second one, I love the original, of course.
Yeah.
Roddy McDowell's great as Peter
Yeah, he was
Vincent.
Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Who was the vampire in that? He was so good.
Chris
Sarandon, wasn't it?
Yeah, Chris Sarandon.
Chris Sarandon.
Chris
In fact,
Sarandon?
Sarandon. In fact, he has a cameo in the sequel or in the remake.
I think he does.
Really? I'll have to.
Yeah, he gets
that.
killed by the band. He runs over. I think he runs over Colin Farrell, and then he gets out of his car, and then Colin Farrell kills him.
That's Chris. I did
Yeah,
not know
that's
that.
Chris Sarandon. I thought that was cool, man. The nerd in me went, "Whoa!"
That's what I did when I saw Kelly McGillis in Stakeland. I'm like, the whole movie, I'm like, I know her. Who is that? She looks like somebody I know, and I was like, holy crap! It's Kelly McGillis.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't put her in the new Top Gun movie.
yeah. Well, they were going for what they got now. Something slick and sleek and popcorn movie. And I hear it's awesome. I haven't seen it. I want to see it, but I hear it's awesome.
Well, isn't Paul Bettany's wife in the new Top Gun?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, he's married to she was in Labyrinth.
Jennifer Connelly?
Oh, she's married to Paul Bettany.
Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, that's his wife.
Oh, Paul Bettany's wife? Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, that's Paul Bettany's wife. They've been married for a long time. Hollywood standards.
Yeah. Yeah, but so are Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. So.
He's one lucky man for sure. She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
But he's a great actor too.
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever watch the BBC miniseries Dracula that came out a couple years back?
Yes.
Was that the one with the monastery? Oh,
Yes.
up on the hill. Yeah, I did. That was pretty good.
Oh, that was good.
The
That
guy
guy
that
was
played-
a good vampire.
Yeah, he did a great job. That's the uncle in Northman.
Oh, is it?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's-
really?
He's like
I
a
didn't
Danish.
recognize him.
Yeah, he's like a Danish actor, something like Claes Bang is his name.
Yeah. My wife
He
loves
did,
that.
he did a phenomenal job in both of those.
Yeah, my wife loves that series, but she loves that series more for Dracula than anything else.
Oh, I thought the first 2 episodes were really good, and then when they jumped ahead to the future, I thought it kind of sucked.
Yeah,
But
but I love the idea of Van Helsing being a woman.
Yeah.
Well,
I
have
mean-
you seen the TV show Van Helsing?
No, I haven't, and I've got to watch it, but I'm so many seasons behind.
It's over. It's finished. So you get perfect time. But all right, so that show, it starts off fantastic. It's got creepy vampires, post-apocalyptic, and they're fighting them off, and it goes over. It's either like 5 or 6 seasons, and it kind of goes off the rails a little, but then it comes back, and it's pretty good. But it goes from like a plague, like you'd think what happened in Stakeland, to, I don't want to wreck it for you, a different type of thing. But it was it's worth seeing. You're not going to lose any sleep if you don't see it, but it was pretty good.
It was a Sci-Fi Channel series, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think initially, and then I think it switched to Netflix.
Oh,
I think.
because I mean I love Sci-Fi Channel movies. I pick on them all the time, but they're fun movies. But it's like the same thing with Z Nation.
Yeah,
it started out so great, and then it was like by the time the 4th season, it's like, what the hell are they doing?
By that time they're just making money. So that's
yeah.
Of course, I did love like the radiated zombies, the giant zombie wheel,
I love that.
Zombie ball, zombie NATO,
NATO. Yes,
that was great. Well, I guess we're about it, huh? Are we about at the hour mark?
Yes.
Kind of looks like it.
Well, no, remember we're doing a 30-minute extra.
Oh,
We have too much to say to be contained to 1 hour, remember?
Fine.
That was why we started 30 minutes early.
well, watch that vampire series, the
So
BBC.
let's talk more vampires.
Yeah, watch the BBC vampire series. It's 3 episodes. You could watch the first 2 episodes and be satisfied.
Was it called Dracula? Is that what it was called?
Think so.
I think it's what's it called?
What
Dracula.
the heck happened? We lost Rich.
Excuse me.
The vampire nation.
Yard must be having
down.
issues tonight. I've never had this much trouble.
Ironically, I'm not the one freezing up.
You usually are.
Yeah.
I know.
So, all right, let me ask a question. Who's your favorite?
Well, yeah. Let's ask the audience a question.
All right. Who's your favorite vampire? And who's your favorite vampire hunter?
Favorite vampire hunter, folks.
Yeah.
Who's okay? Let's ask while we're waiting on that. How about Hadley? Who's yours?
Oh, favorite vampire hunter. I'm gonna have to think. Probably James Wood in Vampires.
Yeah, he's good.
And my favorite vampire, Gary Oldman in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
Impossible to beat. It was perfect.
How about you, Rich?
I was going to say we should do that at some point because that is such a beautifully done horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot, there's so many little symbolisms that Scorsese put in there. Beautifully done. But yeah. What about you, Alan?
Oh, it's Rich.
My favorite vampire is definitely Gary Oldman. It was impossible to beat. But my favorite vampire hunter is probably Van Helsing from the movie that really terrible movie Van Helsing, which I absolutely love.
I love that movie.
It's Wolverine. Who plays Wolverine? It slips my head right now.
Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Everybody knows it. I thought the movie's terrible. It's poorly acted. It's just gross, but it's got the best werewolves ever in any movie. Just fantastic. And I actually love that movie, even though no one else does. But it's great. But yeah, definitely Van Helsing.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine too. I love everything of it. I like the Frankenstein monster. It was a unique concept. Mm-hmm. To me, the worst part of the movie was they spent so much money on special effects and scenery. But when Dracula turned into a vampire bat, it sucked. It was like they had like $5 left. Let's hire it out to the kid down the street.
They said it worked in Abbott and Costello meets Dracula.
Right.
Do that same effect.
Let's
read some of these comments here.
Landa has identified Celine as her favorite vampire and Blade as her favorite vampire hunter.
Ooh, yes.
Nice. Tony
is a Kurt Barlow from Salem's Lot.
Yeah, that was pretty good too.
Yeah. Larkin
loves him some Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
And Tony, and I'm not going to even try. Tony I has said that Vampire Anders from that's a good one too. And Peter as a hunter, Peter Cushing. Good ones.
That's my favorite.
Going old school back there.
Yeah.
I based the Vampire Hunters, Drake Matthews, on Peter Cushing.
Oh yeah. Classic. And I like Van Helsing too. I enjoyed it. It's a popcorn movie.
Yeah. It is. It is. I truly enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, you can't sit there and pick it apart.
No, exactly. So I can't remember the actor's name who played Dracula, but his acting at the beginning. The rest of the movie was okay, but at the beginning was just so atrocious that I was getting ready to turn it off. My wife's like, "No, let's just give it a go," and I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
No, it's a fun movie.
Peter Cushing for the win.
Lynn likes Peter too.
Yeah, he's classic.
And it was very weird.
So my question for you guys.
All right.
Well, it's a mystery question.
We have to guess what the question is.
No, I was waiting for Scott to finish.
No,
Has anybody seen?
No, my question for y'all is,
ahead.
what's your favorite vampire mythos?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Mine is the daylight kills them. That's my favorite because they're so superior to us. So I like that.
They got some weird ones out there. Can't cross running water.
Yeah.
Can't walk backwards uphill. I mean, some of them were pretty weird, but the sunlight thing it sticks to most of them. I'm having trouble thinking of. I mean, I guess Twilight, they sparkled. But other than that, ridiculous set of movies. I can't think of any other film where sunlight didn't kill a vampire. I mean, other than a daywalker like Blade.
I can't think of the name of the movie, but there was one movie where daylight didn't kill them, but it took away all their powers. So if you challenged them in daylight, it would be like a one-on-one battle. You weren't battling a superior being.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the
name of it?
Do you remember the vampires in Captain Kronos? They drink blood. They stole your youth. I thought that was pretty good too.
That was pretty good. I like that. See, Larkin says his favorite hunter is the old guy on the strain. I forgot about that series.
Oh yeah,
that was actually the first 3 seasons were actually really good. I thought.
Yeah.
I don't think
Larkin, are you talking about the guy that used to be the German in the concentration camp? Because he was just evil to a T.
Not him, but the guy that was the Jewish guy that was hunting him.
Oh, the hunter. Yes. Sorry.
He was on Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Oh, can't think of his name.
I don't think I've seen The Strain.
Really?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Oh, the book is much better. But
you need to see The Strain.
The Strain was a fantastic.
Yeah, well, I was bummed out when they took off V-Wars. I thought Mayberry had a good thing going there, and it just didn't make it.
That was politics. I found out on the Netflix episode.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You take the most popular show Netflix ever has, especially when Netflix is going down like the Titanic, and it was like the 2 or 3 of the top bigwigs were pissing in each other's Cheerios, and one of them said like, "Well, hell, I'm going to take away V-Wars from you."
I'm gonna have to tell you, I didn't care for that series that much.
Yeah,
I was thrilled it was on, but some of the acting on it was just, and that's some good actors in it too.
Yep.
I thought they wasted Michael Gray Eyes. He's always good and stuff, and they kind of wasted his character. And I know it wasn't Mayberry; it was whoever was, the showrunner and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was happy it was on because it was a vampire horror series, and I like that. But I wasn't happy with the production of it.
I know Alan's seen this movie.
Audrey Blood has asked.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Audrey Blood has asked, "What is your favorite vampire TV show?" I'm gonna have to say Buffy.
Yeah, it's tough to beat that. I really enjoyed Buffy when it was out.
Buffy was great. I loved second season, is my favorite of all time, when Angel becomes Angelus. And at the very end, I mean, that is so heartbreaking when Willow changes him back, but because the apocalypse started, Buffy still has to kill him to save the world. Joss Whedon, all of his pariah activities aside, Joss Whedon is one of my favorite writers. I love Joss Whedon. I love everything he's written. If somebody ever compared me to Joss Whedon, I would just melt. In a writing sense.
Scott touched me.
You said you weren't going to say anything.
I would have to say I liked Angel. I liked Angel a lot, but that was another they wanted to
Being Human was another good one.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
Never
like
saw
Being
that
Human.
one.
That I did see. I didn't see the British version. I only saw the American version. I understand they're very different.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
that
You need to
one.
watch the British version.
Yeah.
I really like that one
Yeah, the
too.
British version.
Audrey Blood says she
Forever Night was a good one too. Y'all remember Forever Night?
I never saw that
never
one.
saw it.
No.
I'm surprised Hadley didn't pick True Blood for a
Oh my
certain
gosh, it
reason.
was like in the 90s. Am I the only one? It was good. He
Yeah.
was his
Forever Night.
Nick Knight.
Oh
He was
yeah,
like
he was a
the
detective. Yeah,
detective.
I do remember that. Yeah,
That
that
was
was
a good
good.
one.
No,
That
never
would
saw
go
it.
and it would show like his past, like he was fighting in World War II, and yeah, it was good. I do remember that.
Oh, never saw it.
Hmm.
Never saw Forever Night.
Yeah, it
Netflix
does.
murders
It
everything.
does.
Yeah, it does.
So have you guys all seen Morbius? I know Alan saw it,
No.
Yeah.
so don't. It's just
I have
not
not
worth
seen
it.
it yet. Should I even bother?
Watch the after credit scene. That's important. But other than
Yeah.
that, no, everything sucks. It was.
Yeah, always have to watch the after credits in any Marvel movie.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't hate it. I absolutely didn't hate it. But it's of all the Marvel movies. I don't even think it's a Marvel movie. I think it was licensed through Marvel, but it's in the MCU.
Yeah, because
That
he's
was
like one of the Sons of Midnight. Morbius is.
yeah, I think so. You got to
I
watch it.
can't believe I forgot True Blood.
Yeah, True Blood was all right. I
It was
watched
all
the
right. It
first
started
couple
out
seasons.
strong.
Yeah, it did, and then it just got
Okay.
wonky.
Alexander Skarsgård as Eric the Viking was worth watching every episode. Every freaking episode.
Yeah. My wife.
But I mean,
loved-
but
my wife loves that show.
yeah, I'm not gonna fangirl for a minute. I'm gonna pause and say the dialogue in True Blood was amazing. And if you read the Charlene Harris books, you would see that whoever wrote the series for HBO took her words and breathed life into them and created, like, there were characters that they created just for the show that weren't even in the books, like Lafayette, who had the best lines in the fucking show. Excuse my
Yeah.
language. Sorry,
Oh,
bleep me out.
That's 2 weeks in a
Um,
row.
Yeah, I agree, Sylvester. I know I'm potty mouth, but
No, my wife, when we got
Anyway.
married, she made me
But yeah.
watch the last 2 seasons of it. And it was just sort of like, I knew what she was interested in, the scene when Eric Northman turns the governor.
she's not a quitter, Scott.
Yeah, I fell out of love with it too. It was like same thing, Sylvester. It was first 2 seasons were great, and then it was
Yeah, me too. It's
Really?
it's a bad time to be over there.
Yeah, it is. Have you guys seen Blood Red Sky?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a movie you need
Yes.
to see.
Yes.
It's it just came out last year, the year before, and it's about this vampire mom who has her kid on a plane, and they're going. I think they're coming from someplace in Europe over
Yeah.
to the States so that she could see a hematologist and figure out what's going on. Terrorists try to take over the plane. You can see where this is going,
Yeah.
but she ends up sort of losing control. If she doesn't get blood in time or take her medication in time, then she loses control and it ends up turning into a zombie movie. It really does. I mean, the zombies are vampires. It's that type of thing, but it's really, really good. It's excellent, actually. It was
I remember
fantastic.
that now.
Agreed.
It was just awesome.
And you felt sorry for that poor, what was he, a physicist or something that's got that kid, has her kid, and that poor guy, it's like so much on him. But that was really enjoyable. Tina and I both liked that one.
Yeah, they could keep going on that too. I mean,
Yeah,
they could have more.
it had a good ending to it.
Yeah.
There was one, somebody mentioned The Passage. Did you ever watch that series when it was on Fox? Just Fox killed it.
So that had such potential.
It did.
It had such incredible potential, and they just lost it. I confuse V Wars and The Passage a lot in my head.
Right,
But
because
The
they're
Passage,
similar.
the way that was going was just great. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they left it just open, it's like
Yeah.
jumps ahead to the future and then bam,
So that's how. Did you read the books?
Yeah, I read the first 2 and I really
Yeah.
enjoyed them.
And that's how it goes. It jumps ahead in the future like 1,000 years or a couple of 100 years or something like that. It was crazy, but yeah, it was good.
But you get excited with these fantasy sci-fi shows on Fox, and then they kill it. They're just like yank, Firefly. Can I say Firefly?
Yes.
Well, and the problem is they do it to these great shows, and then these suck-ass shows are on forever.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I don't understand how that works. I mean,
I think it could be like budgetary on some of them, because like
maybe,
Battlestar Galactica was huge, but the budget was bigger than they wanted to spend, and
they had to kill it.
They axed it after 1 year. Ruined my childhood.
Well, they brought it back for a second season, didn't they? Later on, when it was like when they finally find Earth.
We don't mention that one.
I know.
Flying motorcycles? No.
Yeah.
We don't mention that one.
It was only one season?
It was only one season of Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. And then they, like 5 or 6 years later, they did it again. I think they brought most of the cast back, but this time they finally reached Earth.
I remember that.
They only brought back Boomer and Lauren Green.
Yeah. Was that the series where he did the classic death pose at the end?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, that would be cool. I always like a good tie-in.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Well, there's some good series coming out this summer. I think in August we're going to get that Predator Prey on Hulu.
Yeah.
Is that a series or a film?
It's a film.
There's supposed to be an Alien series.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's the Interview with the Vampire series.
Resident Evil.
The prequel to Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, which I wanted to ask y'all, do y'all want to try and do a panel for that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I love
Resident Evil. Up to y'all. Y'all are zombie writers, so I'm giving it over to y'all.
Have you seen the preview I put on my page for the Resident Evil series?
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, especially those giant ass spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just finished Stranger Things.
What else?
What'd you think?
And there's that
part 1.
Stranger Things.
Guillermo del Toro's got a series that they're standalones, but it's a series of short stories, I guess. That's coming out sometime this year. That ought to be pretty cool. They're like bits and curiosities or something like that.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Are they doing another Black Summer this summer? Like part 3? Are they doing that?
I've not heard, but I hope so.
What a great show.
They are going to be doing a season 2 of All of Us Are Dead.
Yes.
Yep, that I saw.
The next season of What We Do in the Shadows is coming out mid-July. I think Resident Alien, the 3rd season's coming out around late July, early August.
Still haven't seen it.
Oh, you should.
You gotta see it. It's funny,
especially if you're an Alan Tudyk fan.
Yeah, I am.
Alan Tudyk trying to be an alien, acting like a human, is hilarious.
Yeah,
he's so good at it.
He is.
Yeah, there's a lot coming out, so that's nice.
I haven't seen any of that, Chance. I haven't seen For All Mankind.
I haven't
either. I think it's on Apple. On Apple TV.
Yeah,
that's why.
I haven't seen Foundation either. I don't know if you guys have seen.
I haven't either.
That.
No.
I saw like the opening scene for the it's like a man from another planet. Have y'all seen that? It's like a show that's not new. Yeah, it was terrifying. I'm gonna have to watch the show.
Which show is this?
The man that fell from Earth.
Oh.
This was just the scene of him falling to Earth and the changes it was spectacular CGI for the changes the body went through as he was adjusting.
Did you ever see that? David Bowie did a movie in the 70s.
Yeah, I didn't.
Based on.
No.
It's a freaky movie. It's
the
same title.
That I've seen, but I haven't seen this.
That's what the series is based on.
I didn't know it was a series. I just thought it was a remake of a movie.
No, it's a series.
Who's the actor that's starring in it?
Oh, don't ask me to pronounce his name. He's a great actor, though.
Yeah, Ejiofor.
Yeah, he played
Ejiofor.
He played the bad guy in Firefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the
Yes,
Firefly movie,
yeah.
Serenity. Yeah. He's a good actor. I
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah, he plays Baron Mordo in the Marvel universe.
That's right.
Hmm.
That's right. Forgot that. This Firefly always grabs me, or Serenity, I guess. Serenity now. Serenity now.
Such a great,
So
great
what
show.
what kind of movies are we picking for next week?
Moving pictures. Ones that move.
Well, let's see. What's going on in the middle of June? Anything particular?
No, just hot heat. Hey, let's do hot heat movies.
Volcano.
Dante's Peak and Volcano.
Yeah.
Can I pick 2012 for the Yellowstone scene?
Well, let's ask our fan base. What are y'all interested in hearing us talk about next week? Anybody
What
got any good
movies, bro?
ideas? Tony, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Yeah. Sylvester, Tony, Lander. What do you guys say? Chance.
Ooh,
Dinosaurs in
Amanda say
June.
no.
I like that. Yes, because Jurassic.
Dinosaurs in June. All right.
Let's do it.
It's Dinosaur June.
I'm gonna have
Jurassic-
trouble. The only thing we'll be picking is Jurassic Park.
Too easy.
Yeah,
Too easy.
Yeah.
They're all
there's
great
some out there.
flicks.
You got to find them.
yeah.
Have you guys seen
Oh.
Velocipaster?
Yes, isn't that a rock?
Well, hold on, we
It's
got
so bad.
Tony saying horror movies from 2022.
Virus movies.
Virus movies.
And
Primeval.
Chance is saying Primeval. What do y'all think?
Ooh, well, we got dinosaurs. We got 2022 horror films, virus movies, and Primeval. The Land That
Primeval,
Time
was
Forgot.
that the British series when they open up a wormhole and bring
Yep.
dinosaurs in?
It wasn't
Yeah,
just
I remember that one.
dinosaurs. It was other things, but yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah. The Land
Yeah.
of Time Forgot. I was thinking that one.
With Doug McClure.
Yes.
I love that
Okay,
movie,
so
too.
dinosaur movies for next week. Landa, I'm kind of hating you right now because dinosaurs gonna be hard for me to beat the guys out for a good movie. And do you want to do 2022 horror movies for the following week and virus movies for the next?
Sure.
That sounds good.
Sure.
All right, guys.
We're coming to the future with the 2022 movies.
Oh, Tony's saying Scarecrow films.
Scarecrow film. Well,
Are
that
there
could
a
be.
lot of those?
Yeah, there is.
I love you too, girl.
There is. So, dinosaur movies. How about a dinosaur scarecrow? You know,
Well, no, we can. I mean, do you
Dinocrow.
instead of horror films, let's do Scarecrow films. Make it more hard to find. And I know already I'm picking Pumpkinhead.
Oh, that's a great one.
Scarecrow films. Oh man.
Are you talking the original one with Lance Henriksen?
Yeah, the one
Okay.
from like the 80s or 90s. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll pick that. Okay, so for dinosaurs, I'm gonna have to hunt a movie. Apparently, Chance has been reading.
I didn't even realize it was a book before it became a TV
I
series.
enjoyed that
either.
series. I don't know why they stopped it.
I'll have to pick a good dinosaur movie.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, what are y'all up to? Because we're heading up close to 10. Well, it's 10 o'clock my time. I think it's 11 o'clock on the East Coast, and Scott's got to go pick up his.
No, I don't. Not tonight.
Not tonight.
Not
Okay.
tonight. Well, if we are asking what we're up to, can I do some shameless self-promoting?
Yes, please.
That's
Go
That's
to
what
my
we're here for.
Facebook page because since we did vampires tonight, I've got my 3 books of the Vampire Hunters trilogy. The Kindle versions are on sale for 99 cents each until early Sunday morning.
Nice.
If you like evil vampires that kill people, suck blood, terrorize the world, try to start a vampire apocalypse, you'll like my book.
Nice. Done with
I'm looking
with your
for it,
horror.
Scott. I don't see it. I'm on your
Really?
page right now. Yeah.
All right, here, hang on a second. I
Yep,
will add the
link us.
link.
Link us up.
I will
Link us
add the
up.
link in a second.
All right. What you got going on, Rich? What are you working on?
Oh, I'm working on the next book in the Zombies Theory series. I got a couple of anthologies I'm doing. It's just right now I'm buried with my non-writing work, and it's only going to get worse for the next probably month or so before it slows down. summers are always busy for us. Science. So
Science.
yeah, I'm trying to write. I was going great guns with that Zombie Theory series, the next book, but I stalled out. I got about 9,000 words written, and I did it in like 4 days. So, but I'm kind of stalled out right now. Alan, what do you got?
I'm waiting on Hunt the Nights at the Proofreaders right now, so I'm waiting for that to come back and see what's going on with it. And I've just been working on Operation Zulu 4, trying to put out a good book, for everyone that's followed me through the first 3 books. So
Good books.
Yes, I'm 50. I got 50 pages to go in the third one.
They're all right there.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be jumping back and forth between Hadley and Rich.
Yeah. Good. What about you, Hadley? I know you're busy.
I am working on getting my anthology story in for the Horror Writers Inc. anthology. Since it has not gone to press yet, I'm lucky enough that I will be able to hopefully get something done. About halfway done with it, and I've got my 2 books on Audible, and I'm starting work on the 3rd book now in my series, Tapestry of Worlds. So,
Nice.
yay.
Nice. Yeah, good job.
Exciting things, people. But right now, I am working on the big time marketing campaign for Wyrd Realities, so we can hopefully get our stuff up and going with a regular Wyrd Wednesday live streaming show for our fans, to find out all the stuff and to be on Fringe FM every, hopefully, Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific.
Nice.
So,
That's great.
Nice.
I need to figure out what's going on with this Horror Writers Inc. anthology. I'm supposed to be the bartender.
Oh,
I need to get the story so I can read them and do the bartender.
well, I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm late to the party.
I haven't gotten any stories yet. So
I'll send you mine. I sent it over a couple of weeks ago, but
honestly, I haven't been very active over at HWI for quite a while. So, and it's been, well, you guys know what has been going on.
Yeah.
But that's now in the past, so I can jump in there and I'll say something tomorrow and say, hey, what's up? Everybody, send me your stuff, because I'm not going to edit.
Tony is awesome. He is giving our merch a push here. We need more Wyrd gear. We actually have some t-shirts. Tony, send me your address and I'll get you one of the t-shirts that I send out to people who appear on our show. I'll give you one of those. Just send me your t-shirt size and I'll make that happen for you. We do have a Redbubble merchandise store that's got some coffee mugs, some shirts. We got a couple of designs over there. Y'all go and swag up with our stuff. I'm going to get with Morgana. Hopefully we'll be getting some more stuff made. And I was hoping Mr. Rich Restucci was going to hook me up with his artist friend so I can get something special made for Wyrd Realities. And
so he's very much out of the hospital, feeling better. I will call him tomorrow. Call Chris tomorrow.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I'd like to get something special made for us, for watching Wyrd, and I would really like to get something made for the whole Wyrd crew. So
awesome.
Tinfoil hat.
There you go.
Call Rod tomorrow, right there.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for this week. You know where to find us. You can always hook up on Linktree. That's going to be linktr.ee/Wyrd Realities, and that is Wyrd with a Y because we put the Y in Wyrd. Haha. That's funny. I'm cute, aren't I? All right, guys. Until next time, y'all stay weird. You know where to find us. We will be over at our Wyrd Realities community where we're trying to keep it fun and uplifting. So make good choices in the meantime. And until then, stay weird.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh.